All right, so with that kind of introduction out of the way, I'm going to jump into the first topic that I want to cover, and that's the Patriots offense. I mean, it looks really bad. Really, really, really bad. Um, the Cowboys game was, I think, our worst offensive performance of the year, and it was one against one of the better defenses we've played all year. I mean, we put up more points against the Bills, but to be fair, we had more receivers against the Bills, so that kind of makes sense. But yeah, it looked bad. But there's some good things to take away from that game that I saw. Number one is N'Keal Harry. He showed his red zone presence. I mean, I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure that was either the only or one of the only times we were in the red zone that entire game. And N'Keal Harry turned it into a touchdown. And all year we've been struggling with scoring in the red zone. So it was nice to see that we now have a big target that can kind of muscle in a touchdown catch once or twice a game to assure us at least a red zone chance turned into a touchdown every game. Um, but yeah, that was a good takeaway. I wish he had more targets. Considering we only had three receivers, I was kind of expecting he'd have more targets, but he only saw a few. He had a pretty crucial drop on third down, middle of the third quarter, which I was a little annoyed with. But he's a rookie, kind of got to expect those things. And post game, he said that he needed to step it up a notch, and already the Patriots were really happy with what he was doing in practice. So I'm definitely excited for our matchup against the Texans. We got Isaiah Wynn back. He played 70 out of 70 offensive snaps, and yeah, I think that's a good thing. Our offensive line, there were moments in the game where Brady had a lot of time to throw, like 5, 6 seconds, when all season he's had a second and a half, 2 seconds. If you're a Patriots fan, you watch it. Our pass blocking was ranked at fourth overall midway through the season, but we all know that's not how good they are. I mean, the reason they haven't let up that many sacks is just because of how often Brady has to do some miraculous throwaway. I mean, he was even asked about it in the post game. I mean, there were just so many times where you thought Brady was getting sacked, but he like twisted his body in some way that a 42-year-old quarterback should not be able to do, and turned it into a throwaway. There was one that was kind of risky, and he acknowledged that after post game, where it went over the linebacker's head just by a few feet. Um, but yeah, it's still not where it needs to be, the offensive line, but it looked a lot better. The run blocking was a lot better. 20 carries for Sony Michel, over 80 yards. That was awesome to see that finally Sony Michel was seeing at least relative success. I mean, to be fair, 20 carries for over 80 yards is nothing to write home about, but it's a lot better than what we've been doing. I guess my point is we were able to run the ball. Um, and once we have Mohamed Sanu back, I think that being able to run the ball will allow us to run more play action concepts that should just make our passing game overall a lot better. One thing I noticed though from that game is that we didn't really utilize James White as much as I thought we would. Only going in with three wide receivers, you'd think we'd target James White a lot more, but he didn't do what James White usually does, even when we do have a lot of receivers on the team. But yeah, so my hope for our offense is that we're gonna turn it around. I mean, we have the pieces now. N'Keal Harry's here. He has 2 games of experience. This is the time N'Keal Harry's got to have it figured out. He's got to go in, get the confidence, and just perform. Um, Mohamed Sanu will be back. Philip Dorsett will be back. Julian Edelman. We'll have 4 good receivers on that roster, and we saw what Jacoby Myers is capable of um, this week. So even him will be a nice healthy scratch, even if he doesn't earn a top 4 or top 3 receiving position on the roster. Still a healthy scratch. I mean, still another thing the defense has to worry about. Um, Biggest problem going in that game is the defense didn't have a lot to worry about. Cowboys defense only had to account for a couple playmakers. They know Brady can't run, so it was kind of just sit in the back and just cover those 3 receivers. That's all they really had to do, and that's mainly why Sony Michel had some. Well, I think Sony Michel's success can be more put on the shoulders of the line, considering they were able to blitz more people because we only had 3 receivers and Ben Watson. I don't know if Ben Watson had a catch that game. He might have had 1, but if he did, it wasn't significant enough for me to remember it. To be fair, it was half a week ago. But yeah, so my hope for our offense is just that run game is going to help us. Isaiah Wynn, we're seeing we saw those glimpses last night of what our offense is capable of. Once we get our receivers back, we saw that glimpse. We saw the glimpse of the running game with Isaiah Wynn back. We saw the glimpse of the pass protection with Isaiah Wynn back. We saw the ability that our offense has, and I think we're going to be able to kind of find that chemistry through these upcoming weeks. And by the time playoff time comes, I think our offense will be just fine, and I think we'll be back to what we normally are.